Welcome to the Brew Crew Review Podcast, the show by fans for fans of your Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers? Hello. All right, we're coming at you this week. The Brewers just wrapped up a three-game set out at the Cincinnati Reds. We're traveling to Washington, D.C. with a Brewer. We're hoping Vince Travato, who's out there, is going to be able to join us. He's probably drinking heavily and going to the Brewer festivities out here this weekend.
Did you get him press passes, Craig?
I'm right here. Yeah, I do not have any press passes yet, they said. I did call again today, and I'm waiting to hear back on that. So, Craig, if we could have you or one of the interns or somebody get those press passes arranged. If you just want to give John Barnes a call about half hour before the first game time, it should be fine. Okay, yeah. All right. He follows us on Twitter, so we can shoot him a message. Yep. Cool. And his son Jacob, hopefully, will get the call up here next week. Or no, I don't think that is his son. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, right. So, all right. Well, on this episode, Vince has got a pretty special Rapid 9 stepping up to play questions that we'll get to. But before that, we'll talk a little bit about the Brewers minor league affiliates. Obviously, for the last couple of years, the Brewers, their previous AAA home was in Nashville, as all the Brewer Review fans are aware, that we visited there several times and interviewed several Brewers as their minor leaguers there. But it actually has been the home of the Oakland A's for the last several years. And the Brewers, it seems like every couple of years, AAA affiliates kind of play this game of musical chairs where sometimes the city gets lost out altogether on a minor league team, and there are other cities that are building stadiums and compete for teams. And so just kind of this musical chairs of affiliates changing hands, and the Brewers sometimes are, that kid in musical chairs who always gets their chair ripped from them just as they're about to sit on it. That seems like the Brewers story when it comes to AAA, some of their minor league affiliates. But and obviously for the last couple of years they got stuck in Colorado Springs, which is probably pretty good for our hitter numbers, but it's a tough place to develop pitching as they make their last step to the major leagues. As even Corbin Burns struggled there quite a bit this year before getting called to the big leagues, and it's just generally not the most desirable spot. The good news now going into next season is that Colorado Springs is actually being changed to a single A affiliate and is no longer going to be in part of the AAA. And I believe, I should probably know this, but I believe it's in Raleigh, North Carolina. I believe that they built a stadium. They're going to host the minor league team. So they're one of the new quote-unquote musical minor league chairs. And in the mix also, open spots are going to be the Las Vegas 51s, who Scott pointed out, who are also building a new stadium. And they're also losing their Mets affiliate. And a couple other open areas or AAA affiliates are going to be San Antonio, Texas, and Fresno, California. So some inside intel I got from our anonymous source. Tom Carter.
Oh, I shouldn't have said the whole thing. That's my fault.
I did too, Scott. I forgot. But he did say the Nationals are one of the teams that are going to be finding a new home. And even though Nashville is one of the possible, well, let's throw it out there that the four cities that the Brewers AAA for 2019 and beyond could become, but back to Nashville, that's one of the options. San Antonio, Texas, Fresno, California, or Las Vegas, Nevada. It's basically going to be one of those four sites. So I guess, unfortunately, for all you fans that want to move back to Nashville, our source does tell us that he believes the Nationals are taking up the Nashville affiliate, which leaves that chair taken.
I think Nashville may have burned a couple bridges with us last go around. Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah. And it took them a while to finally build a new stadium, and Greer Stadium was pretty awesome with that guitar-shaped scoreboard and other amenities. But like that press box where you could drink beer in and stuff like that. But,
great press box. Yep.
Yeah, I think once I got chastised for that, I think that was the last nail in the coffin. I think
and they had that bar in right field that Tony Gwynn and Ben Hendrickson like to hang out at with Gary Pettis and us.
Oh, that's right. And then they had that Sluggers bar on top of the press box. That was Ben Hendrickson had that T-shirt on and said he loved hot moms or something.
Yeah, but who doesn't?
I believe. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, it looks like the Brewers. Oh, and I forget the exact. San Antonio is unlikely to be the Brewers' home. So that leaves two chairs: Las Vegas, Nevada, which would be up Scott Valley since he lives out that way, and Fresno, California. What I'm hearing, though, is it's likely the Brewers are going to be landing in Fresno, California, which of all of the opening affiliates for AAA is the most neutral stadium and should be equal kind of to pitchers and hitters, and however it's way out in California. So I don't know how much that would excite Brewer fans, but I guess what are your overall thoughts? Obviously, there's still some possibilities that could end up nothing set in stone. Those four sites I mentioned, Nashville, San Antonio, Las Vegas, and Fresno are all possibilities. Do you guys have any preferences or rankings on where you want the Brewers to end up?
Well, Greg, you've dived into this or dove into this a lot more than I have. What is the status then with Raleigh? I thought that Raleigh would be a possibility then as well.
I forget exactly which of the teams. I believe the Mets
are going to Raleigh from Vegas.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
So that one's definitely not one of the open ones because they specifically built the stadium to entice a team that was not the Brewers.
Got it. Okay. Well, personally, I guess I would not prefer Fresno, and my reasoning on that is simply because it's so far away from Milwaukee. It'd be really hard to, I think, shuttle guys in time for games if there was an injury that would occur that we need somebody off the AAA roster. So it's even further away than Colorado Springs. I guess that it just seems like it would be the worst geographically as far as I could tell. So from that perspective, and if it's just down to Fresno and Vegas, I hope for Vegas, and then Scott can be our on-the-ground reporter with the 51s and be interviewing players with his press pass.
Yeah, and the Oakland A's, a lot of people are speculating that Oakland would make the most sense to go to Fresno since that's obviously in California and all that geography would make more sense. Yeah, I forget all the specifics of it and why the rumors are this way, but it's thought that they're not as likely as the Brewers to go to that site. I don't know why, but all this will play out before the start of next season. Obviously, over the course of winter, we should know more, but until all the minor league seasons are over, and I don't know exactly the timing of how these things and when they'll get resolved, but it won't be during this season, obviously. But it'll be interesting. But obviously, I'm rooting for probably Vegas as well. Obviously, just as for fans alone, I mean, be able to jump on a big cheap flight to Vegas for the weekend or whatever.
Think about this. We can have Brew Crew reviewed like once a year. You guys will have to come out to Vegas, and we'll have to get our press passes and go to a whole series. It'd be absolutely amazing. I actually heard. Yeah. I don't know how true this is, but I heard that odds are the Brewers are going to wind up in San Antonio, which, although obviously way south, is still kind of in the middle of the United States to make travel a little bit easier. But I kind of heard that the A's have Vegas if they want it, but they might just go the Fresno route. So they're still in negotiations, and then if they bow out of Vegas and decide that they do want Fresno, then that kind of opens the door, and the Brewers might have a shot. So holding out hope, but doesn't look good.
That's great analysis, Scott. That's great reporting. Jeez, you really actually researched this. That's awesome.
I do actually look at this fairly often because I'm definitely vested in it. In that, could you imagine being able to go and do this all again, but instead of having to drive halfway across the country like we did with Nashville, I could just drive 40 minutes.
Well, you hate driving, but maybe Craig could come out there and pick you up. But then again,
Yeah, Scott, if you could have Stephanie pick me up at the airport, and then I could rent a car and then drive you to
Craig,
to the.
I don't know if Scott
or maybe
Scott risking his life by being a passenger in your vehicle may not also be the best option either. So maybe Brew for Review funds can just be used to provide transportation like every other news organization. They can just somebody could drive us.
We could have like a mini team bus. Like I did see that this worked out for another group called the Electric Mayhem. They actually traveled around in a bus. That was pretty awesome. If we could do that, that'd be cool.
That's awesome, Scott.
Yeah, I'm glad that you just watched the Muppet movie, Scott, for you to get that reference. That's awesome.
Yep. Good work.
So no, and who knows what's going to happen. But I guess to me, the bottom line is it's very positive that the Brewers will be getting out of Colorado Springs because of that non-friendly pitching environment, I'll call it. But in the argument, I guess some people who aren't as invested in Vegas as Scott are arguing, well, Las Vegas isn't that much better because of the altitude, humidity, whatever. That's basically known as a hitter. Now, obviously, they're going into a new park. I don't know how much that's going to differ. Usually when they build a new park like that, they're trying to target specifically to draw a new team there. So I'm kind of surprised that there's not already a team lined up to take Vegas as a slam dunk. But
I think Vegas, though, you can be confident that they'll get a team. So maybe that's one difference between Vegas and a city like Raleigh that, they have to cater. I think that it's well known that minor league baseball and AAA specifically wants to be in Las Vegas.
And I know there's quite a few pretty key borderline superstar players that are from the Vegas area. In fact, right from where Scott lives, I think in Henderson, the Chris Bryan, I believe, is from there. I know Bryce Harper's from that area, as well as like Joey Gallo.
Yeah, and, three of my favorites.
Wasn't Greg Maddux from Vegas?
Yep, that's true too. So obviously a good place, and you can play baseball all year round. So, we'll hope the best. But
I was going to say really quick. Sorry, the team is going. Out to Summerlin, so it's not going to be like, in the downtown Vegas area like it is anymore. And I think that maybe the other worry might be that, I guess people are still kind of holding out hope that maybe Las Vegas, if everything goes well or they do any expansion or anything like that, that Vegas might actually get an MLB team, in which case it would be a very difficult draw for the AAA team. But I don't know. That's just me just kind of speculating at that.
I don't know when or if Major League Baseball is going to expand again. And I don't think any franchises are going to relocate anytime in the next few years. I think that the push by MLB is still to get, teams like the Rays to upgrade their ballparks and the A's for that matter as well before they would really want another relocation. So I would guess that until MLB announces firm plans to expand, which I don't think could happen for at least 2-3 seasons down the road, that Vegas would have a chance at anything other than AAA, right?
Yeah, I honestly don't think that's going to be an MLB, a future MLB home, but you never know, I guess. Like I said, I think the MLB overall is kind of pumping the brakes on expansion for right now, at least. And I don't think that they're necessarily going to relocate the double rays. In fact, didn't Tampa recently come up with some kind of crazy new stadium proposal? I know they passed it, but it has a crazy low number of attendance, I should say. Yeah,
I saw the designs. I believe that it was capped at like 34,000 seats, something like that. It was mid-30s. And vastly different from more spacious ballparks that exist, and even Miller Park, which is a 42.5 capacity. So it's interesting thought, and maybe a market like Tampa that's kind of more what they're looking for, just because they've had such low attendance. But one could also make the argument that they've had such low attendance because they've had bad teams and a bad stadium for much of their franchise's history as well.
Well, and attendance is trending downward for MLB a little bit anyway. And I just remember when we were in Detroit, and it wasn't a particularly good Tigers team that we were seeing, but like their club level was so ridiculously spacious that you would like buy your own table. It's kind of like the Fridays front row was like their entire club level. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. I think that's where stadiums are trending. They're going to get a little bit smaller, but they're going to offer more of the amenities, especially like just literally just space. So who knows?
Yeah, and teams are definitely going that direction. It's interesting, but I don't know. Maybe smaller stadiums will be the new norm in future ballparks. It's interesting. The Rangers are getting a new ballpark already for next season, I believe, as well, or 2 seasons from now. I forget, but in any event, well, I'm interested. I haven't seen the specs on their stadium. I'm sure it's out there, but we'll have to have one of our interns research that a little bit and get back to us on seating capacity. But it'll be kind of an interesting trend.
Oh, I'm also going to go out on a limb and make a bold prediction that Las Vegas will have a Major League Baseball team within 10 years. They've proven that they're willing to fork over the money to build the stadium, and as long as you're willing to do that, I think that MLB is ready to go.
Well, let's get you further on the hook then, if you're going to throw that out there. Do you think it's going to be an expansion team, or do you think it's going to be one of the current teams relocating?
Probably has more to do with like how their negotiations kind of pan out. I think ideally MLB would like to relocate a franchise that might not be doing so well, but if that doesn't happen, and if cities are willing to fork over the money for new stadiums like in areas like Tampa, then I wouldn't be surprised at all if they expanded 2 teams.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see, my personal guess is that we'll see expansion before we see relocation, but who knows? Could be very wrong about that.
Expansion seems to be a little bit easier, but you never know.
Yeah, I think it definitely would be. Yeah, interesting.
Well, so what are we going to do this rapid 9 or what?
Yeah, guys, I got a rapid 9. I got a rapid 9 here for us.
Now I have to go rapid.
And Scott, you can take.
We might want to change the name of it. In fact, we purposely didn't call it Rapid 9.
Yeah, well, Scott, you take your time.
Because it's kind of like more of a.
Yeah.
There's really nothing rapid about it.
Just call it.
Take your time and really explain your answers in depth, and yeah, it's fine. So, all right, guys.
Wait, I gotta get ready. Hang on, sorry. 1 second.
There it is.
All right, I'm ready.
Great man is in the house, and Craig, it sounds like you are in a wind tunnel. We are at inning number 1. Let's go. Prager first, batting leadoff, and then Scotty, you are in the 2-hole. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, I should be out of wind tunnel soon.
Okay. All right, first inning. Craig Mueller, which Brewers non-playoff season was your favorite, and why?
Non-playoff season.
Yeah.
As sad as it is, let's see. Well, obviously it's got to be 87 Brewers.
87 Brewers.
Team streak. I was going to point out the pathetic year that the Brewers finally went over 500 for like the first time in like a decade or something back in, I think, the mid-2000s. But
yeah, 2005.
But that's kind of lame. So I'll go with team streak 87.
All right.
Hands down.
Scotty?
Man, this sucks. I was gonna say exactly that. I was gonna say
you can say it, so Scott.
It felt.
Yeah, Scott, it's your favorite. So whatever you want to say.
You know what though? Okay, because I don't want to do the exact same thing. I'm gonna still say 87, but my runner-up season is gonna be what was it? 92? Is that Molitor's last year?
Well, now you stole mine, Scott. My answer is 92. It was just a fun season, and Rob Young got his 3,000th hit that year, and the Brewers were in it until the final weekend. I remember that we lost. We lost to the Blue Jays in the division by, I think, a total of 4 games, but we were still in it with 2 to play. And then we just lost the last 2 games of the year, but it was a really fun team to watch. And it's sort of the last hurrah for a number of guys in that era. It was not only Molitor's last year, it was the last year for Chris Bosio and Dan Plesac and a good number of guys in line from that season. So, in any event,
the last good year for Pat Listash.
It's first year and his last good year, and young up and comer Cal Eldred in the rotation got 11 wins, I believe, that season. So, yeah, good year. All right, inning number 2, Craig. If you had to pick one pitcher in franchise history to start a 7th game of the World Series, who would it be?
In franchise history?
Yeah.
That's a question.
Thank you.
We're not talking more than Spawn Braves. We're just talking Brewers, right?
Yeah, Brewers franchise history.
Oh, that really kind of narrows it down.
Game 7. Season's on the line.
That's a great question. Wow. I am going to say Mike Caldwell.
Mike Caldwell, great pick. Wow, nice. Scotty?
All right, there's I mean, I don't want to say like Greinke or Sabathia because for some reason I don't consider them like Brewers through and through. Like I consider them more like rentals, I guess. So I mean, otherwise, I guess I would go with Sabathia, but that's the thing. Sabathia was only, I mean, with us for half a year. I'm gonna go with Teddy Higuera. Teddy Higuera in his prime was just absolutely dominant, so that's who I'd go with.
Nice, good pick. Yeah, I think DC would be a good answer, actually, but I'm going to go with Ben Sheets. I think Ben Sheets had the ability to pitch at a level unseen by many other pitchers in our history, and I think I would have had a lot of confidence with Ben Sheets on the mound in Game 7 for whatever reason.
Hey, pitch for Team USA.
Yeah, there you go. That's true. That's very true, actually. That was awesome. All right, Craig, what is your favorite food to get at Miller Park from the concession stand?
Well, I had to volunteer at the concession stands 1 year, and I hate to say I'm probably not going to ever eat at the concessions again, but the Brewer fans are listening, don't just disregard that. I won't get into details, but I will say
and Craig, we try to make these rapid, so just so you're aware.
Yeah, I'll go with just helmet with nacho fries.
Nacho fries, so cheese fries.
Cheese helmet, whatever. Yeah, it's cheese fries helmet, whatever it's called.
No, okay, Craig, that's a fool's bet. It's like $3.50 or something, and there's only like 3 waffle fries in it. I can't stand that one. For bang for your buck, I got to go with just the pretzel. It's it really helps sober you up if you may have pre-gamed it or tailgated, if you will. So that's what I'm going to have to go with.
That's great.
Why would you be trying to get sober during a Brewer game? That's foolish.
Well, just sober enough to remember it. And then, and then if we're losing, you can always grab more beer.
I think usually it was your routine, actually. I'm going to go with the Cactus League nachos. That's a pretty stellar meal in and of itself. If you're really hungry, you can just get like a hot dog with it. But the Cactus League nachos are outstanding. So I'm going to go with the Cactus League nachos. All right. Craig, what section was your favorite section to sit in at Milwaukee County Stadium?
Great question. Believe it or not, I like sitting up behind home plate, way up to the top where you could like bang on the back metal, whatever.
Oh, yeah, those were
during
awesome.
Rallies.
Definitely.
I don't remember the section name, but I would say that. But in case you guys are going to say that, I'm actually just going to say, for nostalgic reasons, my grandfather used to take me to kids and senior citizens games. My late grandfather, I should say, and when I was about 11 years old, we went to like a dozen games or so, and we won all of them. I believe, at least that's my remembrance of it. And he would always get general admission tickets, so I'll just go with that.
Nice, good pick. That's good. I like that. All right, Scotty?
This is rough because I don't remember the section, but I believe it might have been section 214. I hope that that's right, but it was basically between home and first, and it was the first row of the upper box.
Nice, good, very good.
And I did catch a ball there against the A's in a doubleheader. Still have
who hit it?
I don't remember.
All right,
Mark McGuire.
No, it was no one important, and it was someone on the A's, and they hit one of those that was
Jose
almost
Canseco.
almost a straight back foul off line drive that just barely cleared the netting or whatever. And I had to reach down, brought my glove to the game because I was I think 14. And I had to reach down over the railing and caught it. Otherwise, it would have hit that area. You know how they had that gutter? It was like a rubber, 2-foot gutter all the way around the second level. Otherwise, it would have hit that on the line and carry him down, but snagged it.
Nice. That's good. So I'm going to cheat. I'll pick two. So at the end of County Stadium's history, when they put the padding in on the first level, those seats, the first maybe 20-some rows up off the field, those were pretty awesome. And it was totally new at the time, but they had you could actually order food from a waiter and a waitress that would come down and bring you the food. It was pretty cool because they put it in a little machine, and it was totally new at the time for me at least. It was very fortunate to have a hookup to get those seats. But my actual favorite would be section 1811, which was upper deck down the left field, down the third base side, towards left field. And the reason why is because Junebug, one of our hosts, he and I found this one seat, and they had a hole underneath the seat, and the hole actually looked straight down onto the lower deck, and we could pour water or soda on people if we were being idiots, and because we were middle school age, it was really funny at the time. So section 1811
was so really funny.
Yeah, when the stadium was torn down, I really wanted to get that little concrete block and didn't manage to do it, but that would have been my favorite pick. And if you ask Junebug today about 1811, he will remember instantly that same section. About one time we accidentally we put nacho cheese on it, and it was dripping down, and then put it on a shelf. And yeah, it was pretty funny. So one of us would go down and sit behind right where it stuck and watch the reaction of the people that were getting hit from the other person above. It was quite amusing for a seventh grader.
Wow, awesome. Honorable mention to the mezzanine section. You just sat at one point. You just sat on a folding chair, but you had plenty of space, so there was that. That's
true. There was plenty of space available, I think, in all sections of County Stadium, actually. But yeah. For some rough attendance years there. God. All right.
Were you scary thought that, can you believe it's been 18 years since Miller Park's been a stadium and County Stadium has been no more? It's just hard for me to fathom. This week, this is a week where colleges are starting back up, and there's freshmen going to college for the first time. I'm thinking these 18-year-old kids weren't even alive when County Stadium was still standing. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit.
These 18-year-old kids were 9 months old on September 11th.
Wow.
Yep.
And I think we saw in this year's MLB draft, the Cardinals picked Nolan Gorman, who's absolutely turning up to minor leagues, by the way, unfortunately. As the first player born in 2000 in the draft. So,
yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And Casey Weathers, the kid of David Weathers, who pitched for us when Miller Park opened up, was drafted this year. It's kind of crazy. I think Casey's his first name. But when you think about that too, it's pretty nuts. The Brewers, came over to Milwaukee in 1970 and played in County Stadium until 2000. So 30 years, and now it will be 18 years, I guess, next year, because 2001 through 18.
Yeah, that's right.
17 years, and then we're more than halfway to the time the Brewers played in County Stadium already at Miller Park, which is very hard to believe. Who knows? Maybe we'll get an All-Star game at Miller Park again in the next 10 years already. It's that crazy.
I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not, but whatever. All right, guys. Next inning, fifth inning. Craig, who was your favorite non-Brewer player growing up?
I guess it changed over time. I'll throw out the two main ones. I really love Ryan Sandberg. I know he's on the hated Cubs now, but back then we were not rivals in a different league, and they were on WGN all the time. And he was part of the Daily Double, and he was a rookie, in '83, obviously. But he was just one of my favorite players. I just like the all-around game and just a great guy. And then I was also a big fan of the A's version of Mark McGwire also.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Scotty?
Favorite player growing up, I'm going to say also Ryan Sandberg was from the 87 set. Also from the 87 set, my favorite player, Tony Gwynn.
Nice pick. Great pick.
And honorable mentions to Greg Maddux, David Justice, and Eric Davis.
Nice, Scotty. I'm going to go with Cal Ripken Jr., who won the Brewers in the American League. We obviously saw a lot of, and just love the way that he played the game. I think if I had to pick another guy, it would definitely be Ken Griffey Jr. Just love that guy when he came up with the Mariners, and remember his debut pretty well, or his debut season, I should say, pretty well. And obviously he was just a fun player to watch, and never heard a baseball come off the like he did with Ken Griffey Jr. So anyway, I go with Ripken and Griffey.
Awesome pick, guys.
Be my two. All right, guys, sixth inning. If you could hang out with one Brewer from any time in team history, who would it be? Like actually hang out, like grill out or have a beer with.
I would have to say Tim Dillard, but I've hung out with him quite a bit. So I'm going to just go out of left field, Chuck Krim.
Nice. Craig, that's still a possibility. He's still floating around as a bullpen coach, I think. So that's good.
Okay.
So, out of the left field bullpen, basically, yeah.
Hey-oh! There he is. Who's your pick, Scotty?
So normally I would say Robin Yount, but
you already did that. You had breakfast with the man.
Well, I think like maybe Robin Yount, like right when he would like turn 21 or something like that, might be fun. But would there be anything funner than back in the heyday being able to like drink with Pete Vukovich? Like that'd be so.
And Gorman Thomas, that 82 team, and not to steal your answer, but Harvey Keene owned that bar in West Dallas, or lived in the bar. I think he owned it in West Dallas and lived above it. So all those guys would go between there and Derry's Pub, which the three of us have gone to before.
Yeah.
Now Dugout 54 on Blue Mountain Road. Thank you for sponsoring us. But the guys used to hang out there all the time. I've heard stories about that 82 team and definitely Pete Vukovich and Gorman Thomas. That's awesome stuff.
Yeah, they were like living or something, or by the what's now like the Best Western over there.
Yeah.
Just national. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I've been at that bar.
I hate to say it.
I played 9 Inch Nails.
I hate to tell you that I've actually lived your dream. I have hung out with Pete Vukovich. In fact, he's good friends with my uncle, and he actually came to one of our Christmas Eves, and he actually was there for like 2 hours.
He's a funny guy. He's a very funny guy.
Yeah, he is. He's totally down to earth. And on top of that, I actually was on the same Little League team as his son, Laszlo Vukovich. And so he would actually come to the games and sit in the stands.
Wow.
Craig, he had a younger son too, and I played against him, I believe, because he was at one of my games watching, and he was the parent of a kid on a team that we played. So I didn't know that until after the game. And after the game, I leave, and my dad is in the stands, and he was talking to Pete Vukovich because, you know, when he worked at the Brewers, they had known each other. And so I got to meet him after the game. He was there as a dad. It was pretty cool.
I think I played Little League with, I think it was Ryan Gantner's, Jim Gantner's nephew, Ryan Gantner, or something. I don't know.
That's cool.
Oh, my same uncle used to hang out with all the 82 Brewers. He is actually best friends with Jim Gantner, and I've met him several times. They actually own a cabin on the same lake in Boulder Junction, Wisconsin.
Awesome.
And on top of that, one time I actually I work in video for my profession. I was given by my uncle. He said that Jim Gantner has this video footage that he took while deer hunting, and he wants to know if I can fix the quality of it at all. And it was basically just this grainy footage, super zoomed in, pixelated footage of deer from a far distance that you could hardly make out. And apparently they wanted me to fix the video, which unfortunately was not technically possible. But anyway, totally candid. But anyway.
That's awesome. And Jim Ganner, by the way, one of the guys we interviewed for our show back in the day. So
That's true.
I'll just say really quick, I would like to hang out with Gorman Thomas. Sort of along your lines of thought, with just hanging out with those AQ guys. I think that they'd be a blast to talk to, especially back in the heyday. So, all right, number 7, Craig. Which can't miss prospect were you the most wrong about?
Which what prospect?
Can't miss prospect. Brewers can't miss prospect were you the most wrong about?
Was I the most what?
Wrong about.
Let's see. I guess I'll have to say, well, he wasn't a can't miss prospect, but I was a little bit too high on Luke.
That interview was great, though, with that purple shirt.
I guess I'll just say Brett Lowry. Didn't realize he was an idiot.
Scott?
I'm gonna say Scooter Jeanette. I was definitely wrong about that. So
Nice.
Congrats.
What do you mean you thought he was gonna suck?
Kind of. I mean, I just didn't think, he was going to be much of anything. I didn't think he would ever develop the power that he did now.
Yeah.
And I think if he wouldn't have done that, I'm not sure he would still be in the league, and he's done it. So hats off.
Yeah, that's a good one, Scotty. I'm going to pick Dave Krinzel. For some reason, I'm really high on him. It just did not work out. So,
another one from Brewer fans would probably like to hear his name mentioned again, and people were super high on for what reason, I don't know. It's Nick Nugebauer.
Oh, Nuke. I thought you were going to say Ben Hendrickson.
We've had a bunch. Ben Hendrickson, you could say going way back, Tyrone Hill from the early 90s, number 1 draft pick that didn't pan out. Some could even say a guy like Troy. Yeah, well, at least he played in the big leagues, unlike Eric Arnett. And Angel Salome, I would put up in that category. Would be another guy. Yeah,
we could have a whole hour-long segment.
And how can we forget Salvando's top draft pick, Anton Williamson? I mean, come on. Unfortunately, lots of can't-miss prospects that have passed through your Milwaukee Brewers, but play better things ahead. All right, guys, 8th inning. Craig, go to you. Will we see any current Brewers starters, not rotation starters, but guys at the actual positions, not starting for the 2019 Brewers?
Mike Moustakas.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah.
Any starting
starting player right now, if you go around the horn, do you see anybody not starting next year, in your opinion?
For the Brewers, I would say Moustakas and hopefully Sculp.
Okay.
I might actually flip the script on that and say Travis Shaw. It's possible that if Moustakas re-signs with us, that we might trade Shaw. And I wouldn't be surprised if both Thames and Aguiar are not starting next year. I mean, they're back to platooning again now, but these guys are so hot and cold that I wouldn't be surprised at all if we just went out and signed, just somebody that can hit, and they were limited to non-starting duties.
Interesting. Well, I don't think Stearns is about to break up the core of this team amongst the starters. I don't know that the Brewers are going to actively try to sign Moustakas, but I actually don't think it's that far out of the realm of possibility that we do. I do think that Scope is going to start at second next year. I don't think if the Brewers would have acquired him if we weren't going to play him for 2019. So I think that he's definitely there with him being the bridge until Hira is ready. So if anybody I'm going to go with is Manny Pena, and I know he's had a hot last couple of weeks, but I think the Brewers have been looking to upgrade a catcher for a while, and we've seen the team kind of linked at different points to other guys, and I really think that the plan going into this year wasn't to make Pena the full-time starter, but to have Steven Vogt get a lot of his bats and catch a lot of games, and with his injury thing sort of took a back seat with that plan, and we've tried Jet Bandy, and we've had Eric Kratz in there quite a bit. So I think the Pena could still be around as our backup next year, but the Brewers may go out and get a catcher this offseason, but who knows? We'll see. All right, guys. Let's see. Last you guys still there?
Still there.
Yeah, you cut out.
Okay, guys. All right. Ninth inning. this is an important one for you, Scott. Where does Bernie Brewer rate amongst MLB mascots, Craig?
I'd say like middle of the pack, a little bit higher maybe.
So out of 30 teams, you put him at 14?
I'm kind of partial to Billy the Marlin myself, but yeah, I'll put him at like rank 13th.
13th, okay.
I don't know. I'm going to go so far as to say Bernie Brewer might be top 5. I mean, there's not a lot of great mascots left. I mean, even the Philly Fanatic is also top 5, but I'm not sure. I mean, Philly Fanatic has been around long enough, but at the end of the day, Philly Fanatic is just a weird thing. Like, I don't know. I'm not a super huge fan of the Philly Fanatic, I guess.
All right. Well, Scott, I'm going to join you in saying that Bernie is top 5, and I really got to thinking about this after our Rapid 9 2 podcasts ago, and that was when you brought up, like, which Brewers tradition would you get rid of if you had to get rid of one, and one of the options was Bernie, and I started thinking about, I think Bernie is one of the coolest mascots, and more importantly, one of the best mascot stories in all baseball, because it's based off of a real guy, Milt Mason, who was just an older gentleman from Milwaukee who decided that he was sick of the Brewers not drawing well in attendance in their inaugural season in 1970, and literally climbed up to the top of the stadium and sat there until the Brewers' attendance was increased. So I like the fact that this mascot came to be because of a real fan, and I think that's very unique. So I'm going to go with top 5 for sure, just because of the story.
I'm starting to wonder if the Simpsons kind of played off that then with Hungry Hungry Homer when they threw him out there. He said that they were going to throw him out in center field until the Isotopes won the pennant.
Might be Scott, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's very possible.
Do baseball mascots suck? I mean, I said Bernie's top 5, but and he seems all right, but I can't even name 5. Mr. Met doesn't do well cool.
Yeah, but our viewers are not taking a lot of confidence in your opinions now because you have to be an expert on all these things. But
the Reds guy, I guess I have an affinity for mascots with big baseball heads.
Right. But some mascots seem very stupid to me. Like Sammy the Steel for the Giants. Like, what is a Steel, And I don't know. The Mariner Moose has done some interesting commercials, but I don't really know if he's a top 5 mascot caliber. And there's just a lot of weird ones out there. Like the Cardinals bird, I don't think that he really does anything. And the Royals have a lion for whatever reason. So the Twins have a bear. Yeah, the Twins have a bear. Like, it makes no sense.
Yogi Berra is the Yankees mascot, I think.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, seems like the Yankees don't even have a mascot. They don't even care.
Yeah.
So, well, anyways, guys, that's my Rapid 9 for today. Thanks for taking
All right, sounds good. Go Brewers. Stay classy.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. All right.
Hey, good job, man.
I was
remember fans to follow us on Twitter. Brew Crew Review 1 on Twitter is our Twitter handle. Love to get some more followers. Love to interact with our fans. We'll try to get to your questions next week. We'll have a little bit more time. Remember, send us your emails at Brew Crew Review Podcast with an S at gmail.com.
And if we don't get to your question, just wait a couple episodes, and hopefully we'll get to it after that. Because we do get a lot of questions. And if we don't get to your question at all, it just means that your question wasn't very good.
And by the way, congratulations are in order for a longtime fan of our show, Vikram Paragankar, who was not only a follower already, but liked and retweeted a tweet from us for a autographed Ricky Weeks baseball. And he was chosen randomly amongst those folks a couple days ago, Scotty, and was sent a autographed Ricky Weeks baseball. So congrats to Vikram.
Yeah, we raffle off stuff here from time to time. So,
very cool.
Definitely worth it. I mean, if you're not excited about the content, which I don't know how you couldn't be, because there's so much great content for everyone, whether you're a casual fan or, a hardcore stat head. No matter what, there's a lot out there for you. right here at the Brew Crew Review.
Absolutely. Well,
Or just free
thanks.
stuff if you don't even care. It's fine too.
That's right, guys. All right. Well, on that note, thanks, guys. Good show. And remember to stay classy in Wisconsin. Go Brewers.
Go
Go
Brewers. Catch the fever.
All right.